Yeah, click go live.
Hello. Sorry, guys. Matt fucked everything up. Pardon my French. You can see his face right there. He's messing shit up, and you can just tell he's troublemaker face right there. So, welcome back, everyone. What's going on? How you guys doing? Tanuj, Nalish, BV7. Good to see you guys back here. Yash, Guggen, Hamza, Gokul, Ilya. No, Vladdy and them are in there. Just give me 1 second. Actually, I gotta send the new link to some other people. Shut up, Coleman. You know how I am. All right. What's going on? How you guys doing? Ilya's in here. Ilya takes his own trades nowadays. He doesn't take any of our trades, you know. Gutty. Got Lavish in here. What's up, Lavish? I see you. CJ Fit, Gurwinder, Christian, Gurvish, Joseph, Vladdy. Let's go, Tony. What's up, senior? What's good, bro? Did you get rid of that coin, Tony? Hydro, what's going on? How you guys doing? I only slept 2 hours last night, so let's get right into it. Fucking exhausted, but here we go. We got SPY. We got that massive gap down this morning. Were you guys scared? Were you scared? You know, a couple people in the group, they look like they're going to pee their pants this morning. They're asking like 9,000 questions. Said just relax. We never lost pre-market lows this morning. It was an easy tell. What was going to happen on SPY today? I'm chilling. I'm just kidding around. I don't care. SPY. So SPY, what do we have? A lot of volatility today, right? We had this massive gap down. I told you guys every single morning, all you have to do, you have to, in the morning, wake up, set your pre-market high line, set your pre-market low line. There's 100 different levels you can draw, but the simplest to draw is the pre-market high, pre-market low. So every morning, even if I'm doing it, you guys should still be doing it, okay? So we got the pre-market high here, we got the pre-market low here, right? We kind of danced with the top line before, and look where the support came on the pre-market. Look at exactly where pre-market lows were. We held support there, and that should have been a tell right there. Huge volume came off that line. After that, we coiled a bit, then ripped through the 50-day intraday, ripped straight up, and then sideways into the close. So this is bullish action on SPY. There's nothing wrong with this action. So far, like we've been telling you over and over again, it's just that one channel that's a little bit worrying, but now we have some space off that channel. So we're still bullish. Everything is still good. If you guys didn't panic sell your stuff this morning, you had a very good day. I know I had an amazing day. I nailed every single thing I touched. So you guys should have did well as well, unless you're taking your own trades like Ilya. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we bounced off the top here. We had a bunch of hammer candles going into that resistance. Very obvious. We were a little bit too overgone. Look at the RSI cool off. Everything's good. Everything's straight. Held the pre-market levels. Everything is bullish on SPY. QQQ, XLF. Again, the same kind of action. You see exact opposite. So we had the pre-market high here on QQQ. Or this isn't even the... Yeah, so this is pre-market high. I didn't even use yesterday's aftermarket action because it's just such a big discrepancy. But maybe... No, it didn't come into play at all on either of them. So it's the same thing. QQQ dump off the open. XLF ripped off the open. Nice gap up. And then they opposited. QQQ ripped out of that dip. XLF fell off that rip. And then just completely sideways kind of for XLF all day. Nothing really too much to talk about here. There is nothing at all to talk about on XLF. The banks, man, Wells Fargo is saying they're withdrawing everyone's credit lines. So I don't know. Interactive Broker sent me an email today saying they're taking away monthly fees. At the same time, banks are saying that they're taking away people's credit lines, so you can't access money on there. So that kind of tells you where the world is going right now. A lot of people paying commissions to trade, not a lot of people paying the banks enough, I guess. But XLF, the chart still looks ugly to me. You can kind of make this out to be almost a head and shoulders, kind of shoulder, head, shoulder. But right now, let's just make this full screen because this is annoying me now. All right, so this is QQQ. We'll go QQQ first. Just the same kind of channel on SPY, but we weren't at resistance yet on this channel. So QQQ still looks fine, whereas SPY is used to be right at the top of the channel. QQQ rebounded well today as well. So everything looks bullish in QQQ. There's nothing much to talk about. Just watch the channel, watch the moving averages for your resistance supports. And that's about it on tech. XLF, we got the uglier picture. So this is kind of an ugly pattern to me. The longer it goes sideways here without taking out the all-time high, the more chance of there is of a breakdown. And you've seen today they're taking away credit lines. That cannot be good news. That means they don't have enough liquid cash to pay off everyone's credit lines. So right now the only support you should be watching on XLF is 35.18. 35.18 is support, and then resistance is still just the 50-day moving average, which is at 37.12. So there's a huge range to be trading on XLF. I don't like any trades in it right now. Except if it breaks this 35, you can take a lot of XLF puts, you can take bank puts. But again, this isn't financial advice. Do whatever the hell you want. IWM, I am building into one of my biggest positions I've ever done in an IWM short. I will not call it out to you guys because it's very, very risky. I am fine with losing all my profits from this week just because all week I've been studying and reading and learning, and everything points towards an IWM short for next week. So that's why I'm layering in. I will not put that kind of trade on you guys. It's way too risky. But that's what I'm thinking. Small caps will get destroyed very, very soon. Either Monday or Tuesday of next week. Might be wrong, might not be. Let's see what happens. But just this pattern alone, I've seen this pattern 100 times. Same kind of pattern that happened on Bitcoin. Same kind of pattern that was happening on another stock that I forgot now. But the longer it goes out without taking out all-time highs is just the weaker it looks to me. And you've seen the golden sweeps on IWM puts hitting the tape. And I think it's worth the risk for my account. That's why I'm not calling it for your guys' account, because I don't know how your account's set up. But just the weekly, the daily, everything's just lining up to be a massive short for me. And when the market does turn, IWM will be the one to fall the furthest. And like I told you guys last night, I looked over like 30, 35 charts last night before bed. There was one or two that were set up. So that just tells me the market's run its course. Everything that's running now, this is just like an exhaustion gap just to get the last of the bears out before it actually dumps. So right now I am expecting a market correction. I could be completely wrong. I mean, Ricky keeps saying the market's going to go up. He might be right. I might be wrong. But for me, myself, personally, I see a market correction within the next week or so, maximum. And that's why I'm positioned all my accounts mostly cash. I'm just playing little swing plays with options right now, short-term plays. So that's just basically how I see it. SE, we broke this. Clear support. It's just like, see this exhaustion pattern? It's just getting exhausted and making new highs, and then it finally broke down. Right now, SE looks like shit. I wouldn't advise. I even got rid of a bunch of my equity. It's almost all cash. I will jump back in when I see an opportunity on a different stock, and I will average down on the rest of my SE equity later when I get the price that I want. Amazon, we've talked about this 40 times. We all have 5 layers. It's getting boring now. This massive breakout out of this 11-month base. We wanted 1,000 points. Today was the ultimate FU to anyone that was paper-handed. If you held your Amazon, I held the 3,800s this morning. I was down 95%. And I have a pretty large position in them because I made a lot of profits from the 3,700s. So I had the 3,800 weeklies. They were down like 95% today. I was looking at the position and I was like, I'm not going to look at my screen today. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm just going to go chill around for a bit, answer some people on Discord on my phone, and come back later. Exactly what I thought would happen happened. We got a huge rip. Why did I think a rip was coming? I'll teach you guys something right now. So the main thing is, you guys all know I hit those IWM puts for 820% this morning. We got them in them last night. So right now, this is my bread and butter play right now. I'll teach you something. So you got the daily. The daily didn't even come in actually. So my thing was, I had the 5-minute chart open this morning. Look at where the RSI was. The RSI was in the 14. It was at 14s. So 30 is oversold. We were at 14. So that should tell you how oversold we were this morning. What they do usually is the market opens on a weekday. They flush everyone out for the first 15 minutes and then they flip it. So what I did was the market opened. I took my puts off for 820% and I flipped immediately to calls. Why did I flip immediately to calls? Because look, every time that we were oversold, 5-minute doesn't really matter. 5-minute does matter, but it doesn't matter at the same time. You'll understand what I'm talking about as you trade more. But then you switch to the 15-minute, way oversold. You switch to the 30-minute, way oversold. And you switch to the hourly and the 4-hour. So when all the time frames are lined up for me, that's my bread and butter oversold play. I will play this play every single time. I seen oversold on every single time frame, and I just started licking my lips, and I switched right away. Right away, I switched from being puts to calls, and you guys all seen it live called out this morning. Sold my puts for 820%, I believe, on the second candle here, maybe on third. I didn't catch the bottom exactly, but I was very, very close to catching the bottom with that 820% sell. And then I flipped to calls, and I sold my calls for like 60, 70% or whatever, because when you're playing oversold, you have to understand it's not going to go like this every single time. Sometimes it'll just go up as a bounce and then come back down. So I was just playing for oversold. Once my 15-minute got back in the zone that I wanted, like look, we were oversold here. Once we got like above half right here, this is where I sold my six, I think right here. So I sold my calls for 60% just because you don't have a reason to be in this trade other than it's oversold. So once it's not oversold anymore, I'm going to get rid of them. So that's why I sold so early. Some people in the group held on to them. They made 120, 150%, whatever. Good for you. Congratulations. You're going to get caught on that in the future. Always take your profits. Don't get greedy. So Amazon, we played that one. Amazon got into oversold this morning as well. This was an easy dip buy this morning. I just skipped it. Not too interested in taking longer term positions. Like I told you today, I'm expecting a correction. I could be wrong. My timing could be off. We could run for another 2 weeks and then have a correction, but I'm just more comfortable with the amount of cash I have right now. So that's my trading personally, and that's how I will always trade. We got Tesla here. We called it out this morning. Why did I call it out this morning? Because we took out yesterday's low. So I had a line drawing yesterday's low at 639. We took out yesterday's low here. I called out 645s. On this dip. So we took it out with nice volume. We dipped back under, and I caught 645s here. And right away we broke back through yesterday's low, and then there was a big volume shelf here at 643.89. We had another volume shelf, so we got through that one, which gave me more confidence in my trade. And Ricky put on a shirt. What the hell was Ricky? Yeah, so that's all I did with Tesla. I wanted to get rid of most of my longs before close. We might have another dip tomorrow morning. Honestly, no one can time market tops, market bottoms, but I've been playing through enough corrections where I know that I've made mistakes in the past in corrections, and this time I'm not going to make the same mistakes. So that's why I'd rather be in cash. And here goes Baba. And I know I'm probably sound like a doomsday guy. Everyone likes stocks going up, whatever. Just be prepared, man. Because if you get caught in one of these corrections, you're going to wipe out gains from the last 3-4 months that you've had. Trust me. Baba, just disgusting chart. Don't like it at all. Avoid, in my opinion. I know Ricky loves Baba because he has like fucking 700,000, I don't even, like $100,000 in Baba or something. He'll always be biased towards Baba. Don't tell him I said that. But he'll always try to find the positive in it. The truth is these stocks look like trash. China looks like complete dookie right now. There's nothing positive on this chart. It's falling knife. You can find supports from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and try to say that's support, that's support. But for right now, they're just trash. Wait till they turn around. Wait till they come to you. You don't need to force yourself into China. BYND, we got that big spike yesterday. I seen on their Instagram that they were releasing news today, some kind of news. And they're asking people to guess what kind of news it was. No one had... I asked a couple people, no one knew what they were talking about, so I was like, whatever, I'll throw a light lotto on. And I told T about it, and then T took next week's, I took the lottos this week, because I wasn't planning on holding BYND over the weekend anyways. And I took the 145s, we sold them for like 60% today, whatever. It was an easy little, this chart looks like trash as well. There's one volume shelf holding it up here at like what does that even say? 132. 132 level is where... no, it's 137, sorry. 137 is the volume shelf here. If it breaks through 137, you see it can fall quickly. But also at the same time, if it reverses and gets over 155, that's when I'll get interested in this one, just because that's when all the volume's gone. And there's thin air up above 155. You seen how it gapped up last time? So there's so much thin air here. There's no orders. There's nothing. So you just want to wait till all this digestion is done before you try to get in these trades. Because options, we need quick moves. We don't need digestion. Zoom video, nothing burger. I didn't even trade this one today. The only reason I had the chart up was just in case those Delta COVID thingies news started coming up again. I would have jumped in Z's. I would have jumped in zoom, but there's nothing here at all. Chart looks nice, it's straight up, but now there's not really an entry here. Congrats if you got it back here through the volume shelf, but up here I don't really see much of an entry. Sava is one of our best plays today. I told you guys 3 days ago the only levels you need to watch are 92.50 and 100 psychological. Yesterday we took out 92.50, closed above it, and today we took out 100 and closed above it. So right now the only level you need to watch, you can delete these levels. Actually, you keep the $100 and 77 level as support now. And the next level to watch on this Sava here is 117.50. So 117.50 on Sava, and then I don't know if there's anything higher than that. That's an all-time high, I think. So if news comes out on the Sava, it's going to blow right through this 117. You see there's no volume profiles up here. There's no sell limits. There's no selling pressure at all. It's clear to go right through here. So Sava can move quickly, especially if it gets some news. This thing can explode like straight to 140, 150. Keep an eye on this one. We still got most of our calls for next week, and they're up very, very nice. I sold half. I think I sold half for 100% today. The reason I do that, even though I'm very bullish on a stock, if I have 100%, I'll take 100% on half. If I see a stock has some issues or there's some supply ahead, I'll sell 2/3 of that stock so I can cover the last third for free. And that's just how I trade. That's how I always will trade. And the rest of the position is free basically. So that's how I trade. CRM, not much here. We had a big dump off the open. Didn't come back quite like I wanted it to. I said it would go to 248 today. The high was 246.50. I guess there's just no love. Why I say 248? There's just a big volume gap here, you see? Till 248. So I thought we were going to rip this first support, first resistance and go. But obviously we did not. We rejected that first resistance again. No big deal. I'm still in a couple of calls for next week. We got a whole week. Our calls are 250 calls, and it doesn't look that bad, honestly. It's like a breakout from a huge year-long channel. Came up, consolidated, false breakout, came back down. But today's candle is a hammer candle, which means people bought the dip. So everything looks fine on that one. PayPal, I said 296. I think we did get to 296. Did we get to 296? We got to 295.86. So I was 14 cents off on PayPal as well. I'm an awful trader. It's horrible. Yeah, same thing. I said the same thing. There's low volume, thin air up here. I thought we were going to get up to this shelf, but we didn't. We got a huge buying volume at the end of the day here, which I love to see. We closed almost at the high of the day. The daily chart looks good, I believe. I just delete all my writing, just me showing off that I knew what was happening. Yeah, so it looks like a nice little huge run up, and then nice little bull flag breakout here. And then we just retested the bull flag today. So this is actually a very good setup on PayPal. You see how we broke out on nice volume? And then today, even during the dip, we held that previous resistance. This is called a breakout and retest. PayPal could absolutely fly tomorrow. And if the market holds up for the next week, I fully think we'll be in the money for those 302.50 calls that I called. So I'm not worried about this one at all. I did sell half of it at the end of the day. That's just because I had a nice gain on half of it. So I don't really care about it. Shopify was kind of weak. So today I took Shopify because the premiums are all jacked. I was buying it down here at like $14.60. I was buying $1,500 calls one day out, and they were priced all wonky. They were like $10 by $7.30 or something, or $10 ask, $7.30 bid. And I was like, why is it so expensive? Does market maker expect a pop? So I just put in a small order of 10 at the bid at 7:30. I got filled for them. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, this close was kind of weak. The calls were losing premium as the day was going on. I don't even understand why they had that much premium in the first place. But the daily does not look good on Shop. See, you see the difference between this bull flag breakout and the PayPal bull flag breakout? Look at this. So this is a perfect breakout and retest of the breakout. Look what Shop did. Shop came back down below the retest. So I really wanted it to close above this retest level, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So what I wanted to go over today. All right, someone type in a stock. I'll just go over some of the indicators I use, how I use them, what they're for. Let's see how much the lag is.
Okay, so this you can turn on. The black bag, we took it to Bacalai.
People are telling you to put your shirt on.
That's fine.
We just took it.
We took the bacala.
No.
Bacala.
No.
Okay, so we'll just do tea musk because you guys want. No one is asking a different one.
No.
That's lily black.
That's what I'm gonna go do. Okay, so someone said Roku. We're gonna go over all the indicators on Roku right now.
It's not back.
Like I have everything except that.
All right, so we're gonna go over Roku here. So first of all, we're gonna go through Roku as it is. It's obviously inverse head and shoulders here. Zoom had the same setup. Look at the follow through on Roku. Zoom had the same kind of follow through. Inverse head and shoulders are working right now. So what we're doing on Roku right now is all I'm gonna show you is this website's called TradingView. This is more for the beginners that don't really chart much. We go to Roku. These are all the indicators I use. How do I open it up? Yeah, so these are my favorites right here. So I like this one right here, this EMA 821, SMA 50 200. So it gives me the simple moving average for the 50 and 200 and the EMAs for 8 and 21, which I find are the most accurate. So 8 and 21 are my favorite for EMAs and 50, 20, 200 are my favorites for SMAs. And this indicator just lets me use it all in one, so I don't have to keep switching or use multiple indicators. It's right here. You just change the colors. So you see the red is the 8-day exponential moving average. The orange is 21-day exponential moving average. The light blue is the 50-day simple moving average, and the dark blue is the 200-day moving average, simple moving average. So we go over here. MACD I don't really use much. RSI is down here. You guys already know. Overbought is over 70. Oversold is under 30. And when it gets super oversold or super overbought, that's when you can usually hit a scalp in the other way. But it's just, again, all indicators are just layers of probability. You cannot enter or exit a trade just based on indicators. It's always lagging. Yo, you guys, everyone can hear you. Everyone can hear you on YouTube. All right, everyone yelling in the background. So the stochastics down here, it's just another form of RSI kind of thing. I'm going over everything, Coleman. Jesus Christ. All right, so the stochastics are just kind of exactly like the RSI. So what happens with the stochastics is the same thing. It's like it gets overbought, oversold, and there's a little black line and a little red line you can see here. Whenever they cross over, it means the trend is changing. I don't use them that much. I use them sometimes when I'm scalping. But other than that, I don't really use stochastics. Sometimes when it gets really like intraday like this, when it gets like this, it tells me that it's ready to go. So you see right here, the stochastics had another dip, and then they came back and the black line crossed above the red line right here, which told me to get long. So that's when I got long. So, but like, again, all indicators are lagging price action. They're all just probabilities. You cannot trade just based on indicators. You have to have like multiple indicators line up and price action line up as well. What else we got? We got visible range, which is these volume shelves on the side. Why do I use these? These have been really helpful. I used them a while ago, but they weren't that accurate. I just seen how they always like tended to change, no matter like how much I magnified in and out. But what I've been using them for now is all these volumes. So this is volume 2. This is the normal. This is the total volume for the day, right? These volumes on the side, they actually tell you where people's orders are. So basically, you see down here, there's a lot of stop losses and a lot of buy limits and a lot of other types of orders here. So stocks will have a harder time moving through this big digestion. When there's thin air, like up here, there's less orders. The price can move more freely. A perfect example of that was PayPal yesterday. I don't know if I can pull it up because it might be changed now. But yeah, so this was what I traded on PayPal yesterday. I'll just draw a couple lines and show you how I use visible range right now. Okay. So this is just how I traded PayPal yesterday. So you see how there's now there's more volume shelves. Yesterday there was less volume at these levels right here, and this whole space right here down to here was all empty. So now just imagine all these shelves are like this big, And these shelves are huge, and these shelves are huge. So that told me there's not many orders in this range right here between 296 and 293. So what happened was in the morning, I wasn't even watching PayPal. Then I seen it just dumped straight through that range, right? So what I did was I waited till it reversed. It got back in the range, and then I jumped in calls here. And I knew it was going to fly to 296. So I jumped in here, flew here, picked up 50% on my calls, and just got out of it. The blue and the yellow, it's just all orders, man. I'm not even sure what the blue and the yellow. Honestly, it's just different types of orders there. There's stop loss orders, there's sell limits, there's buy limits, all that kind of stuff. So that's all you have to do. Just look at the size of the shelves. That's the main thing. What else we got? Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to do, and explain the indicators, went over charts. Is there any other questions? You guys can ask me a couple questions. I got like 5-10 more minutes. All right, no questions. Thank you guys. I will see you guys in the morning.
XRP, are we under or over right now? Is break even or is it right under?